There's 7 different types of chiseled blocks, excluding infested stone bricks because, well, we already have regular chiseled stone bricks and they pretty much have the same textures. And all we're worrying about for this video is the textures. Normally, 2 things remain true for every chiseled block. Number 1 is that it represents a mob that the block has a connection with. Number 2 is that it's crafted with 2 slabs. Now we see this with sandstone as it represents the creeper, blackstone as it has the snout of a piglin, chiseled red sandstone as it has a wither on it, chiseled nether bricks as it has a wither skeleton, and chiseled deep slate in earlier versions of the snapshot looked like a warden, and some people still say it looks like a warden. Now, this might be a bit of a stretch, but wardens still haven't even come out yet. We still don't know what they look like, so it's very possible that they end up looking like this. The 4 blocks in question out of these are chiseled sandstone, chiseled red sandstone, chiseled quartz, and chiseled stone. The reason that these are the odd ones out is because, well, these 2 don't even show any sort of mob at all, and these 2, well, their mobs aren't really even correlated with the block at all. Until you take a deeper look at the desert and realize that, mostly because of the desert temple, these 2 mobs actually have a lot to do with the desert. The red sandstone correlates with deserts because the desert pyramid's top roof part are actually just big enough to harbor a full beacon. We already know creepers are correlated with deserts because you can find plenty of gunpowder in desert loot temples, and desert loot temples blow up just like creepers do. So it just makes sense that they go with the desert. Plus, other desert mobs like the creeper don't burn during the day, such as the husk, and the creeper is the most notable mob that does not burn during the day. Now, some people say that badlands and deserts are 2 very different things, so it doesn't make sense with the wither being correlated with both, but desert and badlands typically generate next to each other, so it makes sense that the 2 biomes would be correlated. What doesn't make sense at all is how the wither is connected in the first place. Now, some people have theorized that the wither is meant to be fought in the desert or mesa/badlands biome, because there's not many valuables to destroy unless of course you live in a desert, and it's mostly just plain open area. For some reason, when in deserts and mesas, they don't tend to fly away up into the sky like they would in a normal biome. And then you get down to the last 2 blocks on our list, chiseled quartz and chiseled stone. These blocks make absolutely no sense whatsoever because they're not correlated with any mob, but they're still chiseled and they're still crafted with slabs. Some people have theorized that Mojang didn't ever associate stone with a mob because it used to be that stone would only generate naturally in jungle temples, which are very hard to come by, so getting a lot of this block was a terrible task, and it was very rare, so they just decided to keep it as a rare block and didn't change the texture. This is all fine, but we still have chiseled quartz, and this one stumps even me. I still to this day have no idea what chiseled quartz is supposed to be, and many others do not either. The only resemblance to any mob I can really find is that they do look sort of like the Eye of a Guardian, but Guardians have little to no correlation with quartz, and Guardians are already supposed to be based off the prismarine block, so it really wouldn't make sense. However, Guardians can survive in the Nether, weirdly enough, so it makes a little bit more sense for quartz to be correlated with Guardians, but still, it hardly makes any sense. What makes slightly more sense is that they would be correlated with the Elder Guardian, who can also survive in the Nether, and is the same color as quartz, but he resembles the quartz texture even less, so it just doesn't even make any sense. To understand chiseled quartz, I've started taking a look at the other quartz blocks, and they all seem to have a similar texture, like a Roman or Greek design. But even then, Mojang wouldn't do that. They wouldn't just make one chiseled block not fit the design, and all the other chiseled blocks the same. It just doesn't make sense. So what is the deal with the chiseled quartz block? Will we ever have an answer? I'm afraid we won't. I really have no idea on this one. Leave your theories in the comments below, and I guess it remains forever unsolved.